Hello and welcome to our Winemakers and Minemakers lunch here as part of our program at the Resources Rising Stars Gather Round Conference. I'm Grady Wulff, Market Analyst with Bell Direct, and it's my pleasure today to bring to you an exclusive interview with Judd, former AFL star and turned fund manager in recent years. Now we're at the beautiful Yalumba Winery in Adelaide's Barossa Valley region. So without further ado, let's join our investors and executives as they enjoy lunch, some beautiful wines and an interview with Judd. Let's go. Judd, former AFL star and now turned fund manager. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
It is awesome. So can we start with your footy career and head straight into the transitions?
Ready to be grilled.
Yeah, literally. Well, your footy career was really long. And did you trade shares whilst playing footy, or was it simply a full footy focus and now a full share focus?
No, look, I did. I was always obsessed with being self-sufficient. So even when I was playing football, I wouldn't let the property steward take my boots to the ground or shorts to the ground, socks. They were insistent they had to take the jumper to the ground, but everything else I took, whereas the other players, their boots would be stored with him and he'd take them interstate. So I was always obsessed with if things were going to go wrong, it was going to be because of me. Yeah. Which unfortunately led to me living through the greatest resources boom of all time in WA and investing with a Melbourne-based broker and not buying any stocks that were 10xing. So I always invested my own money. In my early 20s, that looked like buying ANZ and BHP and stocks where I just had no edge in. And then when I was 28, I met the founder of Euros, and he really taught me how to invest in small and micro cap companies. And what that really means to me is learning how to sell. You know, I've always had the view in property, it's really about the buying. If you buy property well, you don't really need to sell it. Maybe with some of the tax changes in Melbourne, that's no longer true. But stocks for me, particularly micro-cap stocks, is all about the selling. That's where the skill is. It's easy to know when you think good time to buy is, but the skill is in the selling. So learned how to do that as a 28-year-old, started making some money, worked for a venture capital firm after football as an analyst. Venture capital investing's hard in Australia. The addressable market's small. Every founder you meet thinks they're the next Steve Jobs. Yeah. And after 18 months, I just felt that wasn't for me, and started trading listed equities full time, and eventually found myself into funds management. Absolutely.
Now, what was the first stock you ever bought, and did you make money or lose money?
I did. I made money purely out of good luck. I got $2,500 when I was 16 from the AAS, being part of a junior footballing program. I walked down the street with the old man and bought a share magazine, and I bought, it was a toss-up between AWA, which is a small electrics manufacturer, or Woolworths, which Woolworths would have been a bloody good investment. But AWA doubled. It was a 50-cent stock that doubled, and I don't think was even a business a few years later. So that was the first stock I bought. So better be lucky than smart. My old man is not interested in money, or he's a smart guy, but just neither him nor my mum are financially literate. But my grandfather loves his stock, so I think there was something that skipped a generation, and it's always been a real interest.
Absolutely. I think talking on Woolies, everyone, it got 2 buy ratings yesterday on the call from myself and Howard Coleman. So if you want to watch that episode, a little plug there for anyone who's interested in Woolies at the moment. So talking about information, when you're investing in stocks, you do need to have some research and some background information before obviously hitting the buy button. Where do you get your information from?
Yeah, most of the stuff I look at is macroeconomic research, so I spend a lot of money on it. It's overseas based. I really like to be reading stuff that people I'm competing with aren't, so I don't want to be reading the same stuff as the people I'm buying and selling shares with. And like I mentioned yesterday, for those who are there, our fund starts with really top-down economic macro views. So we have strong views around long-term secular trends with an ageing demographic, clean air, currency debasement, a lot of trends which are really common, and then we look to express that through long-only equities.
Well, that's it here from us here at the Adelaide Gather Round Conference for Resources Rising Stars at the beautiful Yalumba Winery, and all of our content this week. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you stay up to date as we have a lot of mine tours coming up, which we're very excited about, and keep up to date with all of our content created every week. It's time for us to have a wine.